Okay, you just need to come to wellmentors.com, adapt, and then you'll go into this page and just fill out your name and your email address, and then all the gift will be forwarded to you immediately. So I repeat, wellmentors.com/adapt, ADAPT. That's it. So I would like to continue with our Q&A.
Cool.
Let me go back.
And it is a gift, you know, I noticed, you know, you've got hundreds of people on here, and at the moment, people are going to be stuck in front of some type of device watching something. By watching each one of those masterclasses is about an hour long, and as they go through them, it's really going to open them up to a different type of reality. So if you're watching this, please do grab it, take it. It's an honor to share it with you, and you apply what's in there and your life will transform, because there's a science behind it. Like there's a science to becoming healthy. There's a science to getting rich. There's a science to the whole universe. And when we plug into that truth, then yeah, you just start to win at this game of life.
Some of them will ask what time we will finish. Officially, we are finished. We just leave behind to answer all the Q&A. People who has questions. So officially, it's finished. You want to stay back from some of the Q&A, please, you're welcome to do so. And this may be quite a long question. It's the same questions the same person asked about your daily practice. Is it, how do you deal with anxiety and fear and not be consumed by it?
Really, really good question. So fear is an illusion. You've heard the saying, false evidence appearing real. So most of the fears that we face are really within our minds now. And it's the fear of the unknown. And wanting to have that level of certainty is what knocks people off balance. Whereas what I've learned is that when we get the body, the mind, and the spirit in harmony, then the anxiety just doesn't happen. And if there is a fear that comes up, you'll be able to let it pass, just like the clouds in the sky. So fear is something that we had to learn. We wasn't born with fear. You look at babies and you look at children, at some level, they're fearless, unless they've had parents who've injected a certain level of fear into them. And then what's happened is that fear has been passed down to a generation. So fear is just being disconnected from the truth. And I would say the first step is make sure that you take that link that Tracy said, was it wealthmentors.com/adapt? Click that, because awareness is the first point of any change. Without us changing what we can be aware of, we stay with the old programs. And this is what I want people to understand, that we have the ability to be the most phenomenal computer system on the face of the planet. But the challenge is, a lot of the programming that came in has brought up anxiety. It's brought up fear, because we're just a set of programs. And when we realize that within our brains, within our mind, we've got this thing called neuroplasticity. So what that means is that at any moment, if we have an interest, we can literally reprogram ourselves at any point in life. And when we realize that, well, maybe I don't want to be looking at myself as a bunch of programs, look at yourself as a bunch of habits then. It's the same thing. So the habit of anxiety coming up, the habit of fear coming up isn't serving, because it doesn't feel good. And that's the body saying, hey, I don't like this. I'm letting you know I don't like it through a feeling. And this is where we're saying, don't think, feel. You can feel that anxiety doesn't feel nice. You feel that fear doesn't feel nice. So how do we get rid of it? We have to go into a higher frequency. And the only way you can do that is to give the body what it needs, give the mind what it needs, and to allow your spirit, this life, to breathe through you. And in that place, then you'll find your freedom.
Yeah, I also suggest that when you are in the anxiety, because you have a very shallow breathing, your oxygen is not going to the body. Do go out and be grounded, walk on the ground. Get your feet in touch with the ground. Get the ground energy. Breathe in air. Go outside and take a walk. That it helps a lot. That helps a lot, really. When you are feeling anxiety, not happy, just go out or maybe do a swim. But now cannot do swimming. But swimming is fantastic, because swimming, you move your whole body at the same time, also very deep breath. And alkaline your body will also help to reduce the anxiety. And the most important thing is listen to some vibrational music. There are so many musics that are available. There are vibrational music, like calming music, sleep, relax music. This is very good. Just do Google search, YouTube's, and there are a lot that you can choose. I used to put it in my house the whole day, and I sleep with it also. So that will help a lot. And actually, I also teach about happiness, and then this is all about the set point. What you need to do is to raise our bar, raise the set point. Then whatever happened to you, you still will come back to the set point that you have established. So some of the questions I will not use because it's about the blood plasma. This is we are not here to, we are not doctors, we are not scientists, so we are not in the position to answer all these questions. So there's one question that may I ask, is it considered with healthy and with positive life force? Now is it he talking about the unfertilized eggs? Is it healthy, or is it consist of positive life force?
Sorry, what was the question?
Eggs.
Oh, eggs. Oh my God, no. I wouldn't go anywhere near eggs. I'm sorry to be graphic right now, but we have to understand the truth. And pardon me for saying this, but an egg's a chicken's, period. An egg was never designed, our creator never designed for eggs to get inside the human body. Let the animal kingdom, you know, be their way, let them be in their environment, but we should be separated. We shouldn't have to go to, you know, even because the truth is now, when you look at how they farm these eggs, legally, they're allowed to have about 30% salmonella in these factories. It's crazy what's going on. It's not humane. It's not normal. So no, I wouldn't go anywhere near eggs, because eggs can breed up parasites. Eggs can bring up so much illness within the body, and it's just adding acid on top of many other problems that people are having. So no, I wouldn't go anywhere near eggs. And I used to eat them all the time.
This is also related to eggs. This is his question is, chicken eggs, although it's high in cholesterol, are good to be taken daily, especially for people who are diabetic. Is it true?
Wow.
He says it's very good for diabetic. What is your opinion?
So first of all, you've really got to look at where that information comes from. If you're a diabetic, you know, if you've got diabetes, you know, there've been so many people, I've got rid of diabetes in people in 2 weeks, diabetes type 2. And diabetes it's not a disease, it's a lifestyle. And when you change the lifestyle, the blood and the insulin, the blood sugar levels and the insulin, they start to balance out in the way that works so that harmony can be created inside the human body. You put that stuff in the body, you're feeding the diabetes. That's what's going on. And you may get that education from even the medical industry, because they don't have a motivation to heal people. What they have a motivation for is for you staying on some type of drug and then managing your disease for the rest of your life. If they keep healing the diseases, guess what? The money dries up. It's a business. You know, the medical industry, it's a business. And there was somebody who was on Connect Now and in the Philippines. And this was, or is on Connect Now, I should say. And this was only a few weeks ago. And she showed me it was these canned drinks that she had to go and buy. And they were very expensive. And she said, oh, this is what my doctor is saying that I need to have for my mother's diabetes. She can't eat anymore. She can only have these liquid stuff. And I looked at the ingredients and I was like, oh my God. I said, you got this from the medical industry? Yeah, we got it from our hospital. It's very expensive stuff. You know, most people aren't on this, but because we've got money, we can be on this. And I went, so is your mum eating sugar and stuff all the time? No, of course not. I said, well, look at the first ingredient in these drinks, because I asked her to take a picture of the ingredients and send it to me. And the first ingredient was sugar. And this is from the medical industry. So we have to understand the truth here. And I know for a lot of people, when I say this, we're rattling their cages, because now what we're doing is we're taking something away that they probably have an emotional connection to. All I can say is try what it is that we're suggesting, because if you try it and you start to reap the benefits from it, then when you go back to it, because here's how you find out whether your body wants something or not. You got to clean the system out. You got to detox the system. And if you find yourself craving something, there's an addiction there. And you might find yourself craving, in some people, it might be a drink, an alcoholic drink. Some people, it might be a cigarette. Some people, it might be a sugary food. It might be eggs. It could be something that you're craving, and that's the addiction coming up. You free the body of the addiction. You push it away so that you don't have it, and you resist it, and you stay disciplined and you stay focused. Give it a couple of months, then go back and have that same food again, and you watch what the body does. The body will reject it and say, what the hell are you trying to put in me? This isn't right. But because the body's got number and number and number, we're putting these foods in, and we can't listen to what the body's saying anymore.
Yeah, I'd like to share with you my personal experience. I come from a family, all my members of the family get diabetic. My mother, my father, my brother, my sister, except me. Except I'm the only one that didn't get a diabetic. My secret is very simple. I take probiotic. I take chlorella. I oxygenate my body and I exercise. It's very type 2 diabetic. I'm not talking about type 1 diabetic. Type 1. Type 2 diabetic is reversible easily. You just have to regularly, you have to, before you eat for diabetic patient, it's good for you to take the probiotic or acidophilus before you take your meal. And then take very high dosage of chlorella. Chlorella maybe like 10 to 30. Skip, we eat like candy.
It's good candy.
Yeah.
It's healthy candy.
So for me to prevent the diabetic is so easy. Probiotic, chlorella, exercise.
And I want people to know that type 1 can be reversed as well. Because if we have a belief system that, well, because the medical industry will say that you can't reverse diabetes type 1, rubbish, just rubbish. I've seen so many people with diabetes type 1, they've gone through the protocols that I've given to them, and it does take a little bit longer, admittedly, but because the body, we've got to remember what I said at the beginning of this conversation, the body's regenerating all the time. And when you give the body what it needs, it will regenerate in the right type of way. But if you're putting stuff in the body that's not meant to be going in, then the body's going to start to break down slowly. And health is our birthright. That's just the truth.
Yeah, I still, another few more questions that we have to stop, because we're supposed to be 1 hour and 15 minutes. Now we are drawn to 1 hour and 45 minutes.
Oh,
so
wow.
This person asks us, what is your opinion on intermittent fasting?
Brilliant. Well, okay, hang on. Yeah, there is a clause. So all types of fasting is really, really good. If we get ill, look at animals when they're ill, they don't eat. You look at children when they're ill, they don't eat. But as adults, we get ill and we carry on eating. We're just like zombies putting stuff in. So when you fast, and there's some really, really good studies out there that say that if you eat between an 8-hour window, then the body can go into a really good fat burning zone. It can start to use the fat reserves for energy. The challenge with a lot of the fasting that is out there is it doesn't work. And unfortunately, this is some of the fasting that is attached to certain religions, where they say that when the sun is up, no food. So when the sun goes down, then they can eat. Now, the challenge with that is if we go to sleep with undigested food still in our gut, when we sleep, the mind is resting, but the body is still having to work overtime. The body is trying to now digest the food. So we wake up and we're still tired. And we wake up, and guess where that food that you're eating before you go to sleep, guess where it goes? It can only go on the body as fat. So when you fast, it is important. It's so important that you you find people who've got the results that you want to get. You know, what's the reason for fasting? Is it to lose weight? Is it for spiritual reasons? Is it to get the body back in balance? You've got to know what your intention is so that you can choose the right type of fasting that's going to serve your needs at that time.
Okay, I have this 21 years old man. He has 2 questions for me. So the one question is like, how good if I am 3 days Indian vegetarian and 4 days non-vegetarian? Would it be okay and properly balanced?
Well, I haven't found a way that you can eat meat and have a body that's balanced, because what's going on is the acid is still going in the body. And when that meat goes in the body, because it's a concentrated protein, the body has to work so hard, first of all, to try and break that food down, because all food is a shuttle system to be able to get the nutrients that's in the food into the blood. That's why we eat, because there are certain things that we can't create in the body. We can't create vitamins, we can't create minerals, we can't create antioxidants, we can't create healthy fats. We can't create these in the body, so we have to obtain them from an exterior substance. But the challenge is, here's what I would suggest. Let me make a suggestion. I would say try and go 10 days, whoever this person is, try and go 10 days without any animal products and add live food, the foods that you're having in those 3 days. Try and do that for 10 days and just see how you feel after the 10 days. Because if you're on those 4 days, if you're putting those animal products in those 4 days, you're still going to start draining the body of energy. And what the body needs to rebuild itself is energy. It's all about energy. We need to make decisions that add energy into our body, not decisions that drain energy from the body.
And he would love to have this answer from you too. Where is it gone to? It said, I do 30 minutes yoga in the morning and 30 minutes walk, carrying my pet dog around the garden, and 30 minutes yoga in the evening after dinner. Is it enough for a 71 years old man?
Oh my God, it's beautiful.
Very good.
I salute you, sir. This is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. But let me ask you, if you're asking if it's enough, do you think it's enough? Because yoga, to me, yoga brings the union together of the mind and the body and the spirit. And yoga is going to keep you moving your body in your 80s, in your 90s, because it brings energy in. And if you're doing the exercise right and the process right, you should have more energy at the end of it, more immunity at the end of it than you do at the beginning of it. So this is brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. What an inspiration.
I'm sure this is also a lot of people curious to find out how many hours of sleep do you recommend, and what do you think of 4 hours sleep if a person can do it without being tired? I myself only sleep 4 to 6 hours every single day, so I'm energetic. It's good enough. So Skip, what is your opinion?
Mine changes, Tracy. You've seen it at the events where sometimes on the advanced trainings, I have less, sometimes it could be 3 hours sleep that I've had at certain times before. But then for me, I've got to a place now where I just let the body do its thing. So for me now, I'm probably averaging, I would say maybe 6 or 7 hours at the moment. And it can go up and down depending on the demands that I put on. If I do a lot, if I've got some physical like growth, where I want to go and train in a certain way, where I'm either going to build myself up, or I want to get more endurance, or I want to do something physically that pushes me out of my comfort zone, then usually in those moments I'll need a little bit more sleep. If I lessen down what's going on with the body, like when I'm on my retreats, 4 to 6 hours sleep, and I'm waking up fresh as a daisy every single day, ready for action. And as I said, we start at 7:30 in the morning, and I'm the only presenter. So it's not like I'm bringing in other presenters, and I'm with this group and I take them through their journey, because there's 49 processes that I take people through. So I need to be mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, I need to be so switched on to be able to serve people at the highest level. And I couldn't do that if this energy wasn't coming through. So on When I run the advanced trainings, because we're fasting, I need less sleep, because now we're not having to drain the body of energy, because when we chew food, there's energy used for that. When we swallow food, there's energy used for that. When the body is doing its bit to try and get those nutrients out the food, there's energy used for that. And then we have to eliminate the waste, and there's even more energy used for that. So that's why I truly believe that fasting is an amazing gift for people to give. And what you will find is that if you do fast, you'll have less sleep.
Yeah. If you would like to have a good quality sleep is more important than hours of sleep.
Yeah.
Okay, if you want to have a good quality sleep, I will advise you to sleep before 11 o'clock. 11 to 3 o'clock is the most crucial time of your sleep, because this period of time where your gallbladder, your spleen, your liver are restoring. If you miss out the 11 o'clock to 3 o'clock, your liver never get rested, your gallbladder, your spleen never get rested. That's why people who sleep late after 3 o'clock normally have a lot of back pain, neck pain, headache, because you don't take care, you don't let your liver to rest and restore. So you want to have good quality sleep, sleep before 11 o'clock, and to 3 o'clock is very important. So one more last question. A lot of people ask me, would it be recorded? Yes, we will send it to you on the recorded version. And one last question. Okay. Those medical things I prefer not to answer. Yeah, we almost answer most of the questions. This last question is, what do you think about soya? Is it good or bad for our body? I know
Again,
Skips
there's good and bad with everything.
Yeah.
A lot of soya that's out there at the moment is processed, and what it's doing is it starts to have an effect on people's bodies, where guys are starting to get these man boobs. It boosts up estrogen, which is not, it's not good for guys. And for me, like many years ago, when I turned vegetarian, before I turned vegan, there just wasn't the options around. I just didn't know how to be a vegetarian. I just realized that I didn't want to pollute myself with dead stuff anymore. And I switched a lot of things to soy. I went soya milk, I went soya mince, I went soya everything. And I started to get these lumps literally under my nipples here, and they had to literally be sliced out. And everyone was like, "Oh my God, you got cancer, you got lumps." And it was this buildup of estrogen. And when we done all the research around it, we found that it came from soy. So what I would say to people is, nowadays it's so easy. You can have so many products now, like, for even people who want cheese, you can get like cashew nut cheese that's made from nuts, and it tastes amazing. You can get like milks that don't have to be soy, they can be like nut milks. There can be products like we've had, like even when I first came out to Malaysia, Tracy, when you guys first brought me out, and I remember going into a restaurant, and you said, "Oh, all the vegan presidents, they're all in this restaurant down the road. They're in there." And I went in there, and I saw this massive round table, and I'm seeing fish on there. I'm seeing like salmon on there, and I'm like, "What the hell's all this? Everyone's meant to be vegan."
vegetarian restaurant.
And I'm like, and they said, "Oh, sit down, order what you want." And I see all normal food. I said, "Guys, are you vegan presidents?" And they said, "Yeah." I said, "Please don't tell me you're hypocrites and you're eating all this stuff." And what they said, "Skip, this is made from beans. This is made from mushrooms. These are made from, all the foods that you are used to using." There are companies out there now, they're, Beyond Meat, they've done really well with burgers, where you can have a burger and it's not made from any type of meat whatsoever. No animal has had to be harmed for it. And you eat this stuff and it's as good as, as the meat. And I call it like transitional food, because if you want that burger and chips, you can have it now, and it can be plant-based. But I would say, if you can avoid soy and go for something more natural, then go for that. But soy's definitely would be a better option than, say, like a cow's milk.
Skip, I may have a different opinion. the Chinese people have been taking soya for thousands of years. In fact, we drink soya milk like drinking cow's milk like in England. I still do. For since young, I've been drinking soya milk. What's the difference between our soya milk as compared to soya milk from United States and UK? Because they are genetic modified.
There you go.
How do you know the difference? Because in Malaysia, Singapore, in Asia country, we make the bean curd. If you use the genetic modified bean curd, you can never make a very smooth bean curd. You can only use the original soya bean to make very smooth bean curd. That's why in Asia, they cannot afford to use the genetic modified bean curd. They have to use the original bean curd. That's why in even in Philippines, all the bean curd is it's very rough. The Filipinos should come and try our Malaysia, Singapore, the bean curd, the tofu. It's really, really smooth. That's why I still continue to take it, and we don't suffer from osteoporosis. We don't like. There are so many of the European countries. They have this like bow-legged leg. They have the hip replacer. I hardly hear about all these things in the Asia, in China. In China, it's our habits to drink the soya bean with the yao zha guai, like the fried. We used to do that every single morning. I still use a soya bean with my cereal. I still do. But what's important thing, take organic soya bean. Then you will be very safe. You take all the supermarket soya bean, it's not safe. It's not safe. I can say that genetic modified soya bean, stay away. It's not safe for you. That's why so many of the Americans are born with autism because of affected by the genetic modified products. Yeah.
And what's important is to really remember, you know, nature really does provide all the solutions. You know, I'm literally looking out now, seeing all these birds flying around and in the trees, and it's like there's such a harmony to nature. You know, there's such an intelligence behind this game of life, and when we find that alignment and you start to give your body foods that the planet has made, you're just going to start to reap the benefits from it. So yes, when you can, you know, do get back out in nature. And, you know, what you were saying about the grounding and getting your bare skin on nature, this is brilliant advice, Tracy. It really, really is good, because again, we're being so disconnected from nature, and we're a product of nature.
Yeah.
So let's make sure that we reconnect to that truth and have that truth breathing through us, because in that truth is where we find our freedom. Yeah,
we have been 2 hours. Time flies so fast. So I really enjoyed the session with you, and I'm sure a lot of participants also enjoyed. That's why many of them requested the replay. And just a reminders, go to
wealthmentors.com.
wealthmentors.com/adapt. Then you will go into this page. Then you still fill up the form. Then you will get your gift immediately. So Skip, thank you so much for these wonderful sessions. I myself have benefited tremendously from this session. So we do catch up. Yeah, Skip is like an extended family to us. I'm very close to the mom, and then we go holiday together to Kashmir, to Nepal, to Bali, to many places. Yeah, he's like a brother to me.
Yeah,
so
many good times, and we'll have many more good times to come.
Yeah. So all the best to you, and take good care. Everybody take good care of yourself. Everybody. Hydrate yourself, alkaline your body, exercise, oxygenate your body. Okay? Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.